First, let me state my appreciation for the Institute of Policy Studies and the International Food Policy Research Institute for inviting my ministry, the Ministry of Primary Industries, to become involved in this very important initiative to conduct a national workshop on food value chain development. I believe that this workshop has brought together professionals from agriculture, fishery, livestock, trade, health, nutrition and finance background from various ministries, universities, private sector, NGOs and civil society to develop strategies for potential value chains and to facilitate a dialogue on the key opportunities for food value chain development in Sri Lanka. When President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe entrusted me with creating a new ministry completely from the ground up, this objective of the mandate that I had was to explore the ways and means to double our exports by the year 2020 and contribute to the creation of 1 million new jobs by that year, what we call the 2020 vision of the government. Right at the beginning of establishing a policy framework for ministry, we identified the lack of value chain research in the food industry and the agro sector as a glaring and an immediate factor that needed to be addressed very quickly. As you will probably know, I started my life as an entrepreneur. When I was barely 17 years old, I had 70 rupees in my pocket when I went back to Ampara to restart the business abandoned after my parents' death, and by the time I entered politics in 2008. I had built up the entire group of companies consist 43 different enterprises employing more than 10,000 people. As such, I have some experience in value addition and value chains, and what I say now is based on that experience. When I look at the issues at hand after taking over the ministry, some of the immediate questions that came to my mind were, how do we add value to our agriculture? Where are the gaps? Where are the markets for our products? In which form are we exporting our products? What are the margins? How are we processing these products? What best practices are we following? What are the market's needs? Are we producing goods that the market needs, or are we producing for the sake of political expediency? Let me give you one simple example. One of the export agriculture products that come directly under the Department of Export Agriculture, the only institute that my ministry has under it is cinnamon. Much of the cinnamon that we produce, over 80% of it is exported in bulk form. Most of that goes to Latin America, Mexico in particular. In Mexico, traders import of cinnamon, which is known as pure cinnamon, and process it through grinding, distilling, packaging in different forms, and then re-export from Mexico to the United States and elsewhere. They add cassia, a cinnamon-like bark that comes from China, and that region to our pure cinnamon develops the goodness that is there in our cinnamon and sells the diluted extracts to the perfume industry and the nutraceutical industry. In 2014 alone, the global nutraceutical industry is estimated to be worth more than $117 billion. We haven't tapped a single cent of that industry directly. So we started asking more questions. Why can't we make a cinnamon-based nutraceutical product ourselves and market it globally? What is preventing us from tapping directly into this end market? What do our cinnamon growers need to do? Get their goods more directly to the global market place instead of going through third and fourth parties in some other country. My ministry is now looking at innovative new ways to market cinnamon new packaging, introducing new processing methods, and above all, how to transfer global knowledge to the man on the ground. The small to medium entrepreneur who has 5 or 10 acres of cinnamon and wants the best return for this product. The same goes to one of our largest exports, tea. While the pure tea exports market is declining, the global herbal tea market is growing exponentially. We are looking at adding various herbs, including cinnamon, as tea infusions, and then marketing these to niche but margin rich markets in Western Europe. We are looking at how we can reduce post-harvest losses in the fruit and vegetable industry, where some estimates say that the loss is as high as 40% due to bad packaging and handling, improper marketing, lack of proper storage, and sometimes due to bad planning, where crops are cultivated without taking market needs into consideration. These some statistics and issues are also there in our fisheries industry. Not only fisheries, that all our industries. In our drive to double exports by year 2020, by addressing all of these issues, I believe that the value chain concept will play a major role by holistically examining all of these issues in an organized, structured way. The value chain is a concept from business management that was first described and popularized by Professor Mitchell Porter of the Harvard Business School in 1985. A larger interconnected system of value chain can be termed a value system and can include the value chains of a firm supplier and their suppliers all the way back, the firm itself, the firm distribution channels, and the firm's buyers. Significant change within this value system often comes in the form of information sharing, where members needs to share a great deal more business information with one another so that all can make better decisions that affect the group. I was very encouraged to see the focus on developing the most suitable value chains in a socially inclusive and pro-poor way that improve the position of small enterprises and farmers and the working poor as one of the main objectives of this workshop. Past studies have demonstrated that integration of the members of the value chain results in the improvement in productivity and profitability of organizations. I believe that you will be having 4 very important sessions tomorrow in addition to the preliminary session scheduled for today. Looking at the agenda, you have a session on a development plan for aquatic plants based food industry, a session to develop a plan for tree crop based food industry, another crop based food industry, and finally to develop a plan for animal based food industry. My ministry has identified these 4 subsectors as priority areas in creating a food value chain development plan for primary industries.